Hey, here I am live. Okay, hi. Good morning. This is Dawn Clavasol. I am your Profit First Professional. You are in my Facebook group if you're watching this on Facebook. Otherwise, it is broadcasting also to YouTube. Just wanted to come in and introduce myself to you guys today. I know that I usually do a reading at 9 o'clock on Fridays, but you guys have read the book, and I thought it might be more useful to you if I were just to come in and say hi, let you ask any questions if you have any. I just wanted to talk to you about if you're starting a new business. Fortunately, you guys have found the group, which is awesome. It's been amazing because I can tell you just from the questions I ask when you're coming into the group, so many of you are just starting out that new business. And at first, I wasn't really a niche that I was going to really address. I don't know why. I was thinking of helping more established businesses, but I realized from the questions that you guys are asking, they're wonderful questions, but I also realized that you are in a perfect position to get started with Profit First, with having a profit plan in your business from day one. So it's really amazing that you found this book right away so that you're not one of the many millions of people that are suffering because they've thrown all their money into their business. They never, ever pay themselves. And then there's no money to pay taxes when tax season comes. Hey, say hi if you're, excuse me, say hi if you're watching. I also wanted to say that I'm going to be in the group more than I've been in the past. The things that have held me back, which I'm sure is the same for many of you, is first off, it can get really noisy in the house. But I'm thinking I'm just going to pop in whenever I have an idea or something that strikes me that you guys could benefit from, whether it's noisy or not. I'm just gonna start doing that because I feel like there's so much information that you can use to help push your business forward, and I don't want to be holding that back just because like I had a bad hair day or it's noisy around the house. So I will be on here with you. Say hello, like I said, when you log in. But I just wanted to get in here and tell you guys. So I started my business in 2007 because I was working in corporate America and I was seeing the mistakes that the big companies were making, the big company I was working for, but they can afford to make them. So they were making, mistakes like just taking the money out before the bills have even been paid was one of the huge things that would happen. We would have an amazing campaign run. All this money would come in. And before I even got a chance as the bookkeeper to pay the bills, the owner would have already, the corporate owners would have already pulled their money out, even though it left nothing to pay anything inside of the business. So that was something that was kind of driving me crazy to see this happening over and over again, and also not be able to influence them, their behavior, because they wanted to do that. They wanted to pull the money out. That's how they wanted to run their business. So at that level, I wasn't really able to influence them. At the same time, I was hearing these things I'm sure you guys have heard, how all these businesses fail. 50%, I think it is, of businesses that start fail by the time they've reached a few years. And Mike says in the book, Profit First, if you're reading that, Mike says in the book, those are sometimes the lucky ones, right? Because they failed quickly, so maybe they didn't lose them a lot of money. They're not just throwing money into their business. I'm in a couple of other groups on Facebook, and I hear people talking in there about how they don't pay themselves. And it's almost like the idea is impossible, but not impossible because they couldn't figure out a way, but impossible because they don't think they should be paying themselves. And that just seems like a really strange idea to me. But it is so common. I'm telling you, hundreds and hundreds of people replied to this thread saying, no, of course, we're going to pay the business expenses first. I'm going to pay the business expenses first. But have you even looked at, do you need all of those expenses if it's keeping you from paying yourself? And why are you in business if you can't pay yourself? That part I just don't understand. So I decided that I was going to work with smaller businesses. I decided I was going to branch out on my own, have an influence in these businesses' lives, instead of being stuck where I felt where I couldn't actually influence. I could just kind of sit there and be part of what I saw as the problem. So I started my business. It was super exciting. Probably like many of you, I started it while I was still working. So that was kind of fun. It would be like, I remember my first client call, my first person that got a hold of me. I think it was a Yelp thing that somebody had gotten a hold of my information. And so I get a phone call while I'm at my desk at work, and I'm like, okay, well, I need to go take a bathroom break, or I need to go on a break. And I like run downstairs, go, and we fortunately, the office was by this really beautiful lake in downtown Phoenix. So I was able to go out there, and I sat on one of the benches, and I talked to this lady who was calling about her son's business to find out, how could I help them? And it was just so exciting, this experience of making that transition, of taking yourself from not really having any time, right? Because you're working full time, plus you're trying to do this other thing, but eventually being able to pull back on working for someone else and start working for yourself. So I imagine that's probably where a lot of you guys are. And if you are, then you're in the right place, because I have a lot of experience with this, having done it myself. So that was in 2007. So I've been doing this for a really long time. But what I've noticed over the years is that no matter how much attention your books get, no matter if your books are completely done or if they're not done at all, businesses fail. So that was a kind of a eye-opening experience for me that I didn't really care for. And part of that is that rush, that feeling like you have to do everything, that feeling that you have to put everything, including your heart and soul, back into your business. That keeps business owners from looking at the numbers. So no matter how clean I had their books every month, no matter how well taken care of, no matter what the reports I sent them, the information I was giving them about how their business was doing, they weren't willing to sit and look at it because it wasn't what they saw as an income generating thing. However, it's what tells you all the information that the income and your expenses have given you, right? So that was a bit challenging. So I've been doing that for quite a few years. And about a year and a half ago, one of my clients came to me and they asked me if I knew about Profit First bookkeeping. And I didn't. I'll be honest, I had no idea what they were talking about. But I like to learn things, and I'm very inquisitive. So I told them, okay, well, let me check this out. I will go find out what Profit First bookkeeping is. And so I checked it out, and probably like many of you, I was like, yeah, okay, that's an interesting idea. And then I got the book and I read it, and I went through the instant assessment that Mike recommends in the book. And when I did that, it was extremely eye-opening, because here I was in the accounting industry with my background, with how I felt about managing money, and even my numbers were off. In fact, I can tell you, for at least the last, I'd say 3 years or so before I started the Profit First step, my husband's been telling me, you need to charge more. I know I need to charge more, but how? Especially in a service-based industry, when you're told, you don't want to go hourly because you're not an employee. The amount of money you would need to charge doesn't really equate to how much someone would pay an employee. It's just not equivalent at all. So how do you charge? Okay, well, there's value pricing. I can't tell you the amount of seminars, webinars, everything I've been on for value pricing. How do you do that? So it's really well versed in these concepts and these ideas. But I was never comfortable with having like an arbitrary price, like feeling like the price was pulled out of thin air just because that's how much I felt like I wanted to charge or something. I didn't like that at all. And what Profit First showed me right after I did that instant assessment was that I was drawing too much money out of the business. And the funny thing was, it was like this. So you're taking money because it's there. So you're kind of feeling like that's equivalent to what the company's been making, but it's not. What it was, there was money in the bank that I was even drawing on. So I think I ended up, my percentages didn't come to 100%, they came to 110%. And you can see over time that could be really detrimental to your business if you're running it where you're at 110% of the money coming out rather than 100% of the money coming out. And even that, you don't want all of your money just going right back into the business or into your pocket. You want to grow a business that is actually going to be a profitable business as well. So that was really an interesting, like I said, eye-opening experience for me. And it also, the one thing made me realize that I was charging half of what I should have been charging. And again, at the point where you do your assessment and you really see the amount that you should be charging or the amount that you want to be making and that you're not making that, the business isn't making enough to let you pay yourself that much. It's one of those things where you're like, okay, now the number isn't arbitrary. Now I can come up with an amount I know I need to make. Then you look at, how many people can I actually help a day? How many days do I even want to work in a year? Those kind of things. And then it helps you kind of tailor what you need. And from there, you can tailor your prices and things. But it wasn't something I would have realized had it not been for Profit First. So in the year and a half that I've been working with Profit First, I actually signed up to be one of their reps because it's such a change from what I was able to do with clients before. So like I said, I would do your books, give you your reports, you wouldn't look at them. If you did look at it, maybe you were confused by it, you're embarrassed, you don't want to tell me that you didn't understand it, whatever the reasons were, Profit First takes all of that out of the equation because it allows me to advise you and you to look at your numbers in a way that's really going to get you paid. It's going to help you put money away to pay your tax bill. And it's going to make your business have a business profit. So that's really important. You'll hear me talk over and over again. So when we talk about Profit First, I talk about taking the accounting equation that we use for our taxes, that is sales minus expenses equals profit. Instead of focusing on expenses because we don't want more of that, we flip it and we put profit there. So our new equation, the accounting first equation, is actually sales minus profit equals your expenses. And then you run your business on what's left over, on what the business can afford to spend on expenses once you've gotten paid. But what does profit mean in this equation? This is where it gets confusing for people because we're using a term that gets thrown around a lot. You probably see this if you are in any Facebook groups at all. You see people, there's profitability to this, profitability to that, and it all means something different. Every single thing that people are talking about is like a different thing related to growing your profit, but not actually profit. And then, like I said, with that accounting equation that we use when we do your taxes, that profit at the end is kind of an imaginary profit. It's just kind of a voodoo magic number, right? But when we're talking in Profit First, what we want you to do, we want you to pull that money first. So it's actual money, it's actual cash. And then from there, that profit actually means three things. So that profit is the business profit. I want you to be really clear on that. Your business needs to be profitable. That is not your money, whether you're a sole prop, an LLC, single member LLC, a corporation. We need to stop thinking about the money that the business makes as our money. It's not your money. You are running a business. The business needs money to run. I'll let that sink in a minute. Your business needs money to run and be efficient and to do whatever your purpose is, whatever that why that you have. Your money, the business needs that money. So stop taking all of it out. But don't drive all your money back into the business. So here's the other thing that profit is. So first, like I said, profit is three things. First, it's the business's profit. You put aside money so your business is making a profit. But next, you got to get paid too. So the next thing that goes into the word profit when we use that equation is owner's pay. And then the last thing there is taxes. And we all want to make sure that our taxes are paid. It's a horrible feeling, I can tell you personally, when you come to the end of the year, you were excited because you had this amazing year. Maybe you finally had an amazing year. Now you owe this huge tax bill. It can be deflating. It can make you feel like, why am I even working so hard? And I know in the past that I pulled back from growing my business because of that, because I was like, whatever, what's the point if I'm going to owe all this money anyway? But the point is, you have to have a plan for your money. And when you do, you can grow your business with freedom, with the freedom that you haven't had, because those tax bills are going to get paid. And right now, there's money in my tax account, and I don't have to think about it because I know it's there, and I know and I can trust that that bill is going to get paid, but I'm also getting paid. My business has profit and it has its own money. And also, in addition to that, we end up with the next section, right, which is their expenses. There's also money in the expense account to pay the bills. So the business has money in two places here, right? So it has money in the profit account because that's the business's profit. Fortunately, the business will share that with me quarterly, which is amazing, but it doesn't have to. So the business has its own money, that is its profit, and the expense money that it pays. And the other money is ways that you get reimbursed as the owner, as the person who's running the business, so that you're not stuck paying the tax bill for the business. And also you're getting paid. Very, very important distinction, I think, to make there. So I'm wondering if you guys have any questions. So why don't you, let's see. Okay, I don't have any yet. So if you do have any questions, post them. If you don't want to post on the live chat because you don't want me to answer it directly, you can just post in the group and I can get to it that way. But I just wanted to mention that now that you know a little bit more about me, how do I help people? So what I do is I have a group coaching program, and the group coaching program holds your hand and walks you through the process of building this profit in your business. And how is that different than just reading Mike's book? It's different because what you end up with is questions answered so that you're not stuck. Getting stuck is one of the things I can't stand. It's actually one of the reasons why tech drives me crazy, because, you know, sometimes it's like 20 steps to learn one new thing just to do the 3-minute thing you needed to get done, just to move through. Like, I don't know if any of you were on my last, the last boot camp that I had. We have this thing that we use. It's a bot that we use. It's through, I think it's called ManyChat. Anyway, it lets you, I can have you guys sign up through there, and then I'm actually able to broadcast when I go live. So the people who signed up for that were able to see, hey, I'm going live right now, click the button, and literally you can click a button and end up in the live. You don't have to search through Facebook. It's really nice. I love it. But there were so many technical difficulties, and it just made me want to scream. So I don't want you to feel that way with Profit First. I want you to know that you have the support to accomplish implementing this in your business. And that is why I've shortened the program. I used to do year-long. It's just a 3-month program. You get, you know, it's like 6 or 7 modules, and just keep expanding. It's 6 right now, but I just added a module, so nobody knows about that yet except for you guys. So that's expanding, and you get 3 months of support and things like that. So if that's something, if you know that you're just ready, you're tired of not having a plan, and you know that you want to implement this, it's the reason that you're in the group, please reach out to me. You can send me a private message, or if you prefer email, my email is dawn@stressfreetaxseason.com. And that really is the goal. We want tax season to be as stress-free as possible. And again, my first inclination was, well, you got to have your books together, which is true. If your books are together, tax season comes around, you literally just hand it to the tax person and you're done. But this is so much more than that, because you need to know where your money is. And if you don't have a good handle on your money, then you don't have a good handle on your business. That's something I want to make sure that you realize. So thank you so much for joining me today. If you have any other questions or anything else, let me know. Like I said, I will be just jumping on calls no matter what's going on from now on. Jumping into lives and things in the group, because I just want to share what's going on with you. I want you guys to have the information that you need in order to have that profitable, thriving business. And feel free to ask questions in the group. That's what we're here for. This is the free, safe space for you to kind of get general answers. If you need more in-depth things, that is something that we do in the program. That is where I would invite you to join and ask questions over there in that group. And also that comes with a membership site and all these other perks that you get. But for now, just ask what you need to ask in the group, and I will get you at least pushed through so that you're going past those stumbling points. Because so many times there's just almost a mindset portion that's more important that you understand than it is to even understand whatever concept it is that we are trying to move past. Oftentimes it's that mindset piece. For example, when you don't want to set up the 2 extra bank accounts at the other bank, when you feel like you want to just take the profit money and put it in your own account right now, or invest it, or do things like that. It's just a mindset issue that we need to get through, that I want you to get through. That money belongs to the company until the company gives it to you. So just keep that in mind as you're moving forward. And I hope you have a great weekend, you guys. It's Friday, finally. I can't believe it. This week has seemed really long. So reach out to me. Again, you can schedule a call. You can do that just by messaging me, and I'll send you the link for that. So have a wonderful day.